you know. And back to the production thing, you said you signed a couple of producers. I'm going to get into that a little bit because I want to ask you, how did you come up with the whole Sound Advice idea? And then I'm going to go into like the producers that you signed off of that.
Man, Sound Advice really started as an idea that I had probably back in I'm trying to remember when this was, around that time that Funk Volume ended and I lived in my girlfriend's living room. I came up with this idea to start an online mentorship program called Beat Club. And that was strictly for producers. And it was an online subscription program. I think they paid like $20 a month. And I started live streaming with them on a weekly basis. And so that, to me, is where Sound Advice really started, because that idea of building a community of other creatives that you engage with and talk to, that's really what Sound Advice became. You know, the only difference is that now I have the means to be able to travel. Obviously, I have a bigger audience, so I can like sell tickets now and do these like live events around the world, really. So yeah, that's kind of how it all started with Beat Club. I think that was back in I want to say like 2014, 2015, something or somewhere around there.
I remember when you were promoting that heavy, bro. I remember that shit too. And
yeah, you remember
that too. Yeah, you had a buzz with that too, man. Honestly, like you were killing it.
Yeah, you did.
Man, and you know what's crazy is that to get my first like 100 members in Beat Club, I literally posted on social media, if you want to talk to me on the phone, DM me your phone number. And I got like hundreds of phone numbers from producers. And I just started calling people one by one. And I was like, hey, I just started this new thing called Beat Club. Would you be interested? And I literally got my first 100 members just by calling people like that.
The phone,
like straight up old school, like cold calling, you know?
Bro, there you go. Like for all of y'all out there listening right now, like don't be afraid to pick up the damn phone and call your people up, man. Call your fans up, and you know, like deals are made on the phone, man. Honestly, they are for real. But don't ever feel like you're too big to talk personally with people. Like we still do like personal one-on-one mentorships with people, you know, all around the world now. Like, and you know, like we're growing our community, but you know, it's really, really important to stay attached and stay, you know, grounded. And like, listen, like you're like, don't ever think you're too big to you know, to reach out and do the work, man. Basically. So, with the Sound Advice tour, man, I mean, the shit is kind of blowing up, like honestly, and I see it. I personally foresee it being something that is going to be really, really massive in the next couple of years. But how has like social media and digital marketing like helped that brand, that tour, like grow?
It's been huge, to be honest with you. It's helped me reach the audience that I want to reach, you know, because social media is one thing, right? But we all know how the algorithms work. Like if you post something on Instagram, it's not going to reach all 200,000 of my followers. But the data is there. You know, the people who follow me, like who have commented on my post before, the people who engage with me on Facebook, on Instagram, like that data is sitting there and it's just waiting to be used. And so to me, like digital marketing and advertising is a way to fully leverage and take advantage of that data and reach all 200,000 plus more. You know, because we've talked about like lookalike audiences and that type of shit. Like it's helped me expand my reach beyond just social media. So it's been huge, man. Like that was definitely a big part of me reaching the right people to even do this tour.
Yeah, definitely. And we kind of preach on that all the time, obviously, but we really, really, truly believe that anyone who's not taking advantage of these technologies and these tools, you're literally just shooting yourself in the foot, man. I mean, it is like a modern day gold rush right now. The amount of people that you can reach for pennies on the dollar, really, when you're thinking about it, is just, it's mind blowing, man. You know, so I'm just so glad that you've been able to take that information and blow this tour up so crazy, and we just so glad that shit, we've been a part of it as well. You know what I mean? So it's just been a fun ride so far, man. Honestly.
Yeah,
you know,
man. I mean, you know, obviously, I really appreciate you guys for stepping in and helping me with all that stuff. I think the biggest challenge, number one, is obviously the information, right? Like understanding that information or that data is even there in the first place. A lot of people don't even know that, you know, like you guys have been to my tour and you guys ask everyone in the audience, like, how many of you guys know that this data even exists? And most people don't, you know? So I think that's the biggest challenge for entrepreneurs. And then the second part is like understanding how to use that data and how to run an effective ad campaign. So there are definitely like challenges, but the information is out there. Like people can, if they can't afford to hire someone like you guys to run the ads for them or to help them, they can jump on Google or they can jump on YouTube and learn how to do it themselves. It's just a matter of, you know, do you want to learn it? And are you resourceful enough to seek out the information? That's all.
Mm-hmm. That's for sure. And one thing I wanted to touch on with sound advice, man, like a lot of people don't understand how powerful the Sound Advice Tour is and what it brings to independent artists and producers and, you know, people trying to learn how to become better at business and music, right? And digital marketing and music. You know, that's why it's super powerful, man. And a lot of people don't realize the opportunities that are laying on the table by coming there. I know you said you signed at least one producer from Sound Advice. Can you kind of go into that real quick and how that's allowed you to, it's pretty much you're an A&R on tour, like peeping talent, you know what I'm saying? So how's that looking for you right now?
That's exactly what it is. I mean, aside from building a community of other music creatives, you know, I think my other main motivation for going on tour was just looking for talent. And people think I'm, you know, just using that as another selling point to sell tickets to my tour. But like the proof is in the pudding, bro. Like I literally signed a producer in Vegas that I met on my Sound Advice tour. And the second producer that I signed was actually a winner from one of my contests that I hosted. And so like, I'm literally finding people on the internet and signing them and bringing them onto my team and giving them all the opportunities that I have available to me. You know, and it's just been incredible. Like I'm literally traveling the country, you know, meeting other dope artists and producers and engineers and DJs. And if you got the skill set, like I'm interested, you know.
You heard the man. You heard the man. So show up to Sound Advice when it hits your
Show
city.
up.
Show up.